Okay, so when we look at a hand x-ray, what are we meant to look for? Well, in this case, it's quite simple. We're really just looking for the phalanges or the fingers on the tops over here, so the fingers. We want to also look for the metacarpals and the carpal bones. You're going to be seeing a little bit of the radius and ulna, but in this case, it's not too important because that's mainly in the wrist that we're interested in. So fingers or phalanges, metacarpals and carpals, and obviously around, just to ensure that we have nothing cut off. That's kind of what we're meant to look for in the hand x-ray. Now, thinking about our critique, the first letter of our paceman critique was positioning. So that was P for positioning. Okay, so how is the positioning for this hand x-ray? It's actually quite good. There doesn't seem to be any excessive rotation of the hand itself, and you can tell by roughly the equidistant distances between the metacarpals over here. The fingers are very nicely placed on the board and they're quite flat. It doesn't look like they're domed or sort of in any different position. The thumb is in a relatively good position. Sometimes you can get the thumb really close to the hand, which you don't really want, or sometimes they can just really put it out, and this is sort of in a normal neutral position. So the fingers, the palm of the hands, and the thumb itself seem to be in a relatively good position. No rotation, no tilt. We can see again for the tilt, is it rotating left or right? We sort of squint our eyes and it seems to be along the vertical horizon. So in terms of positioning, I'm happy with that, quite good. The next thing is the area. So is enough of the area or region of interest covered? And in this case we say it is, because on the top we can definitely see the top of the fingers. On the sides there's nothing cut off, and on the bottom we have the carpal bones and a little bit of the radius and ulna, which ideally makes a good hand x-ray. Now in terms of sort of centering and positioning, generally we want the centering point to be at the middle knuckle or the third metacarpophalangeal joint, MCPJ. And it looks like they've basically done that in this case. So area is covered, there's nothing cut off in particular on the sides, so happy with the area, quite good. The next thing is collimation. So following on from area, is there anything to do with the collimation that is too tight or too broad? It doesn't look like there's much going on beyond the confines of the fingers in this case. So the collimation isn't too wide and it's not too tight in the sense that it's cutting anything off. So appropriate collimation for the region of interest, in this case, is just the sort of the left hand. So collimation, quite good.